Welcome to the Climb! This is a show dedicated to helping singers, songwriters, and indie artists like you create leverage in the music business. And what is leverage, you ask? It's a strategic advantage. It's the power to act effectively. It means the publishing company wants you more than you want them. It means the record label needs you more than you need them. It means you have a reputation that you're bringing to the table to make deals with, as opposed to, please believe in me and my potential. I promise I'm going to work for you, which they've heard too many times. You need leverage. That's what you're going to have to succeed in the industry at this point in time. And that's why we called it the Climb, C.L.I.M.B. Did you see how I rhymed that? At this point in time, we called it the Climb.
Nice.
Creating leverage in the music business. And my good word man, my friend Brent Baxter, lyricist extraordinaire, is the one who came up with that. Brent's an award-winning hit songwriter with cuts by Alan Jackson, Randy Travis, Lady Antebellum, Joe Nichols, and more. And Brent helps songwriters like you turn pro by revealing how you write like a pro, do business like a pro, and on a regular, he connects you to the pros and gives you some opportunities, some at-bats. You can find Brent at songwritingpro.com. Once again, that's songwritingpro.com.
And I would like to introduce you to my co-host, Johnny Dwinell. Johnny owns Daredevil Production. They help you find your sound, and they help you grow your audience so you can become the artist that everybody loves, and so you can get paid. Daredevil has worked with multi-platinum artists like Colin Ray, Tracy Lawrence, Ty Herndon, and Andy Griggs, just to name a few. You can find Johnny at daredevilproduction.com. That is production, singular, no S, and there's no S because there is no other Johnny D.
What's happening, man?
Hey, I'm just playing with the intro and it's failing miserably, but I'm doing all right. Good.
I like a big pregnant pause.
Pregnant pause, just Pregger's pause. Yep.
There used to be this DJ, not a DJ, but he had a big show. I can't remember his name. Tom. His first name was Tom. I can't remember his last name. He's out in L.A. He had a syndicated show, so he's in a lot of markets, and he was like really, really like edgy and kind of like a little wicked, like a afternoon Howard Stern kind of guy. Mm-hmm. But he used to always have the pregnant pause in his intro. Like he would read like that was like really, it makes me think of that. But every time I wish I knew his last name. But what are we going to learn today, Brent? It's your episode.
All right. This is exciting. So today, okay. If album credits make one thing perfectly clear these days, it's that as a songwriter, it is smart to write with the artist. There's no denying that, right? You just look at the Billboard, look at the singles chart, say who wrote it. Oh my gosh, that's the artist's name, right? On so many of them, you open up, there used to be a thing called liner notes, and you buy a physical product, you could look at it. But anyway, if you look it up, you notice one thing, it's smart to write with the artist. However, not every artist is worth your time and your creativity. So today, I'm going to give you some red flags that mean you should probably not write with that artist.
Oh, red flags.
Yes, red flag, baby. So that's what we're going to talk about today. But first.
Okay, well, let's take care of a little bit of business here. The Climb podcast is proud to partner with disc makers. They've been supporting indie musicians before indie music was even a thing. And by the way, we got an interview with the director of marketing from AVL Digital, who owns disc makers, coming up here in probably about a month or so. When you're ready to make your CDs, DVDs, your vinyl, or distribute your music and videos with customized USBs, www.discmakers.com, that's D-I-S-C as in Charlie, M-A-K-E-R-S, discmakers.com is the only place that you need to go.
And while you're there, click on the Guides and Resources tab and download some of their excellent free guides. They've just revised and expanded their home studio handbook, which has a ton of great advice and information for both newbies and studio veterans. You can find them again online at www.discmakers.com or give them a call at 800-468-9353. That's 800-468-9353.
Right on. And what else can you find in the Guides and Resources tab?
All kinds of goodies.
And what else?
A little podcast.
Our podcast is right in that.
That's right. Yeah. So if for some reason you're just mad at iTunes, or you're just mad at theclimbshow.com,
or if you have an Android,
Disc Makers, under Guides and Resources, and you'll find us right there too. Smiling.
That's right. That's right. That's right. So hey, make sure you spend some time and search us out on the C.L.I.M.B community. Join the C.L.I.M community if you haven't done so already. We're inviting you in. We let everybody in as long as you got a picture on your avatar there so you don't look like a bot. Lots of good people helping each other with songwriting questions, with marketing questions, conundrums. Hey, man, I did this and it didn't work. Has somebody done that? And it's a really pretty active community, I would say. I think there's a lot of, there's a lot of stuff going on in there. And Brent and I still, it's not so big that we're not, I feel like it's rare if we miss something.
Yeah, we try to keep an eye on things.
Yeah, we keep an eye on things. And, I'm posting lots of marketing stuff that we're doing and the results and just kind of sharing it with the C.L.I.M community there. And,
I'm posting stuff about, new songwriters and artists getting signed and that kind of stuff too. So a lot of stuff that we don't get to on the show.
A lot of news, yeah. A lot of just news that's news you can use is in there, and a great resource for you just to check in. So, hey, do that and subscribe to the podcast. Make sure all those episodes on Tuesday and the mini-sodes on Friday come right into your little player and get organized neatly, and you can listen to them whenever you want. 5 seconds. Okay, it's 30 seconds. And leave a rating and review. A 5-star rating if you can. Let everybody know what you think. Is it helping you out? And the people who are kind of looking into checking us out are going to make some decisions based really on the feedback from people who leave remarks, because they're not going to trust us until they're in. That's right. And finally, the greatest compliment you could pay to Brent and myself would be to share this. If you share the post on your social media, if you talk about it on social media, tell a friend, hey, this is a killer podcast. You should listen to this. There's some good stuff in there that's going to help you expand your audience, help you write a better song. The song title challenge is just awesome every other Friday, man. That's such a great exercise, man. Let them know, turn them on to it, okay? So with that.
Yeah. You ready to dive on in?
Let's dive in.
Let's dive in. All right. So what we're talking about, not every artist basically is one that you should be writing with. Just because you have access doesn't mean you need to take your time and your creativity with that artist. And I know that may be counterintuitive because I've been there going, hey, if they can sing, if they call themselves an artist, I need to jump on this train, because what if that's the next Taylor Swift and I can be Liz Rose, right? Well, here's the thing. Okay. Let me just start off with one exception. We'll throw this out there and then we'll move on. If the artist is already a star and cuts their own songs, they do write for themselves, okay, definitely write with that person if you get the chance, all right? Do it, be thankful for the opportunity, and bring your best work. That's just one big caveat, but yeah, it's there, okay? So the rest of this stuff can be kind of, definitely applies, but if they're already a star and they're cutting their own stuff, go for it. But this is for those artists that are hopefully on the climb up, that don't have the deal yet, and you want to work with them. So, all right, here's the deal. Most stars, however, or most artists aren't stars. They're unsigned artists who hope to become stars, and maybe they look great, and maybe they even sing great. And I know that in those cases, it can really be tempting to go all in with these artists in the hopes that they'll make it big and take you with them. Again, they'll end up being Taylor Swift, and you can be Liz Rose, who wrote a bunch of that early stuff with Taylor, and this little 16-year-old girl that people were like, why you spend all your time writing with this 16-year-old girl? And now Liz is, she's doing all right. So
she's not starving or nothing.
Yeah, she still hears Tim McGraw and is like, I wrote that. All right. So, but most artists don't become stars. And here are 5 reasons many of them are doomed. All right. And you don't really want to hitch your wagon to a star that's about to fall. All right.
Ooh, this is good.
So if your artist, and John, you're going to love this.
Okay.
If your artist co-writer or potential co-writer is doing any of these things considered a major warning sign, these artists probably aren't going to make it. So I'm sorry about that. But all right. Red flag number 1, doomed artists disregard their fans or their potential fans. And I know this is going to trigger Johnny.
No.
I know. So in the old music business, right, maybe you could get away with being mysterious and aloof and, have all that. Like, I don't know who they are, but, I want to find out more, but I never find out anything more. And so there are all these rumors about like Michael Jackson, how he used to sleep like hovering 5 inches above the bed. And when I was in
an
third grade and all this stuff.
That's submerged in his own submarine off the coast of California.
Exactly. Yeah. But we're in the social media age, and you can't be too cool for school. All right. So again, the Taylor Swift. She's one of the biggest stars on the planet, and she built her career by loving her fans. She surprises and delights them. She cares about them. And in return, they care about her.
Yeah.
So if your artist expects their music and only their music to build a legion of raving fans, they are sadly mistaken. And if you're taking all your time to write with that person, you're sadly mistaken too. That's red flag number one. So Johnny, just go talk for the next 12 minutes.
I'm going to keep it short.
I'm going to go you snap.
You know, I'm jumping up and down like, oh my goodness.
I'm just setting you up.
Listen, mystery is history. And I still deal with artists who have been in this industry for a while. And it's very difficult to work with them because the new industry is counterintuitive to that. But you have to understand that broadcasting is one to many. And one to many, the social proof factor comes into play, right? Mm-hmm. So when everybody's doing something, we all want to do it. And even if it's evil, even if it means like, punching somebody in the face in UC Berkeley because they have a differing political view than you do out in the middle of the street. You would never do that by yourself, especially if you're going to Berkeley because you're probably loaded. And costs a lot of money to go to Berkeley, and you probably came from a really good background, and you would never have the character to do that. But when everybody else is doing it, it feels like it's okay. Or throwing a chair through a local business owner's, front glass window and taking stuff out of it. You'd never do that. It's against the law. But everybody else is doing it, feels like it's okay. And so here are these highly educated people from really wealthy backgrounds turning into animals. And why? Social proof. That's broadcasting, creates social proof, good or bad. It's what happens, right? War of the Worlds, if you know that story, everybody panicked because they thought that that's social proof, that's broadcasting. But you were mentioning Taylor Swift, it's very easy to confuse with an artist like Taylor Swift where it's received it feels like one to many because she's got 112 million Instagram followers, right? That's one to many, right, Johnny? And I think we talked about this before, but when was the last time you and your buddies or you and your girlfriends all popped open your buddy's got some beer or your girl's popped open a bottle of wine and hooked your laptop up to your big screen TV and you all sat there on the couch and got cozy and looked at your Facebook feed together?
Never.
Boom, bomb, right? Drop the mic. Like that doesn't happen because it's Taylor Swift puts something up there. It's 1 to 112 million, but it's all received one by one-on-one. And in a one-on-one exchange, there is no social proof. The only thing the other person cares about is, do they care about me? You know? Mm-hmm. So there it is. If he's aloof, he's got an attitude problem too. I can tell you that right now.
He's aloof.
Yeah.
Right.
Aloof.
Yeah. So red flag number one, doomed artists disregard their fans or potential fans, think they can just be cool, put out good music, and the fans will just magically find them and love them in a one-sided relationship. One-sided relationships are pretty doomed. So second red flag, doomed artists are waiting for a hero. So is your artist friend waiting around for someone else to make their dream come true? Are they just killing time until they get discovered by a manager or a booking agent or label who will do all the hard work and open all the right doors for them? See, the artists who are likely to make it, though, they have a great work ethic. Their attitude isn't, who's going to let me? Their attitude is, who's going to stop me?
Yes.
They get off the couch, they get out, they get off the couch, they get out of the studio, and they hustle. They book their own shows, they connect with fans. These artists are the ones who are likely to be discovered because these artists are the ones who are discoverable.
Yeah.
So
because they're doing the work.
Exactly. So if you're riding with that artist and they're not hustling, they're not working. I've made that mistake of wanting it for an artist more than they wanted it for them.
Yeah.
Because they're a good hang, maybe a good writer, great singer. And you're like, and I'm hanging on to hope and I want it to be real, right?
Yep.
Because I'm in the room with this person and they're a good hang. I'd like to see that good stuff happen for them, but they're not out there kicking butt and taking names, right? Mm-hmm. And I've wasted a lot of songs, a lot of titles, and a lot of ideas, and a lot of time on good hang. It was fun, but it wasn't advancing my career. And it was hurting my career because those are days I could have been in the room with somebody else who was hustling.
Yeah, yeah.
And so that's something you have to watch out for just because you want it to be true. If they're just waiting for a hero, man, they got to be a hero. Know
that it doesn't work that way. If you're a climber and you're listening to this podcast, that's the case. We educating people here.
Yeah, this is nothing new. But just looking at it from a different angle, because we've talked a lot to the artist about being that person. But you know what? hey, artist, I hate to tell you, this is how we're talking about you when you're not in the room.
Yeah.
Hey, don't worry with that person.
He's a jerk.
Yeah, so artists, you just leave. Don't listen to this. This is fine. We're just going to have a little chat with us songwriters here.
Good to see you.
Avoid them. Right. All right. You ready for number 3?
Yes, sir.
All right. Number 3 is doomed artists treat music like a hobby. All right. So this is similar to the previous red flag, the person who's waiting for a hero. So while the last type of artist really wants to succeed, but they've given away their power, they're waiting on a hero to come and make stuff happen for them. This artist on red flag number 3 either doesn't really want to succeed or they're just plain lazy, right? This artist is probably naturally very talented and hasn't had to work that hard to get some attention.
Mm-hmm.
You know, attention just kind of come naturally. They just naturally have a good voice or some charisma, whatever it is. And as a result, they've never learned how to grind or they just aren't willing to. Everything has come easy. But you know what? Just, you know, you can get away with just kind of natural talent when you're playing high school ball.
Mm-hmm.
You go up to college, you can get away with that a little bit. You get to the pros,
you're dead. Yeah.
Everybody is as talented as you are.
Everybody doesn't have natural talent. They have like insane superhero.
They are 1% of 1%. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Like, they're fast. So fast.
So fast and so large.
300-pound lineman can outrun you.
Yeah.
Who used to win track all the time in high school. That guy can kick your butt in the 40.
He can outrun you carrying you.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? Yeah.
That's the truth, man. Those guys like ridiculous.
Song title challenge.
I mean, so if your artist isn't working that hard, you can get enthralled by that again. Their charisma in the room, how everything sounds great when they sing it. And once in a while when they do end up on a stage, they seem to connect. But if they're not hustling, they're going to get beat out by some art. Okay, think about those artists that you just don't get. The artists in whatever genre, you're like, why are they a star? Like if you look at them and go, they don't sing great. Mm-hmm. They aren't great looking. Yep. So they don't have those natural, things that you would think are kind of, what the driver is then? What's the difference maker?
Hustle. Work ethic. Yeah, hustle.
Work ethic.
Yeah, man. Like I remember my boy Mark O'Toole was like working with this one girl, insanely talented artist, but she was like a trust fund baby. Like her parents owned, I can't remember what it was, but you would know the name. Like it was some major freaking brand name. They're billionaires. She didn't care. She had a deal. She got all the people stumbling all over her for her talent, and she could care less, and she didn't have to. And it's kind of sad. Like, I mean, I hope that I didn't know her personally, so I don't know if she was happy or unhappy, but I meet a lot of people like that are unhappy, because they're not doing something. But man, you gotta want it. There can't be a plan B. It's learn how to recognize. When you said like, well, I see that often, like the singers who just could make miracles happen singing the phone book at the age of 3. And like you said, they get a lot of attention. Yeah. And then couple that with a mom and dad or a mom or a dad and who are falling all over them because they're just so proud of their talent and everything like that. And so they just get praise, and they never get work.
You're right. Yeah.
And so it's reinforcing a bad mindset, right?
Yeah.
And that's just going to turn out to be poison.
Mm-hmm. That's right. And not the good Belle Biv DeVoe poison that we all know and love.
Poison.
Right. No. The bad guy.
That was my best beatbox. Sorry. For the people who can beatbox,
was your best.
For the rappers in our community, I humbly apologize.
We can just edit that out. All right. So yeah, they have to grind. If they're not grinding, if they treat it like a hobby, that's all it's ever going to be. And you are not going to make a living and make your career off somebody else's hobby.
Yep.
Right? As songwriters, we are kind of dependent on them to do their thing. We can help, we can support, we can encourage. We can't go out there and make their careers happen as songwriters. We can give them hopefully great songs, but that's only part of it. We can throw that message in a bottle in the ocean, but
where's it going to? Who's going to blow it to the next island?
That's right. Okay, so red flag number 4, and this kind of ties, these all kind of dovetail into each other, but doomed artists act entitled. Okay, so I don't care who your artist friend is, the world does not owe them success or even attention. Just because they care about their music does not mean that anyone else has to. Why should anyone else treat them like a star when they are not a star?
Yeah.
So entitled artists usually don't have as much hustle because they feel like success and attention should be handed to them, should be bestowed upon them by the mere fact that they want and expect attention and success. It doesn't work that way. That kind of attitude will turn off folks in the music business, and it eventually will turn off fans too. You won't work as hard because you expect it to be given to you. You're going to go out and grab it by the throat and drag it home.
That's right. And
you get bitter.
You make bad decisions. You make bad decisions when you're entitled. I've had that happen to me. I've had, I offered somebody, I considered offering them a really, really big gig, like a really, really big producer. Mm-hmm. And they screwed up like immediately. I was concerned about it because they had like a, on the live thing, he's killer, right? But like in the studio thing, the person would get inside their own head, spin out, start worrying about what everybody else is thinking, and just couldn't perform, right? Yeah. Like and play. And the artist had a ton of talent. I wouldn't have, this player, I wouldn't have given him the opportunity. So did it like 12 hours, not even 12 hours, like 5 hours later, just a hot mess downtown and making me regret that I offered it. So I took it back. And then went a different direction. We're 20% of the way through the record, and the other direction failed. Same thing, right? Mm-hmm. Failed, shut down, couldn't, egos got in the way with this. This is a producer, this is a huge producer, 100 million records sold. Just do what he says. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to like it. I mean, do what he says. Like, he knows what he's doing. Like, learn something and walk away. So that goes sideways. So I bring it back to the original person, and I'm like, here you go. And here's the opportunity for him to work with me to finally clear the air, right? To prove like, okay, I can do this now. And I can get the opportunity to work with this big producer, and there's a budget, get paid to do all of this.
Hey. And
that person chose to tell me why they were disrespected. They should have had it in the beginning. Mm-hmm. And it was always theirs, and I took it from them. Like, man, the other person the other route I went was like a hit songwriter, like that made a crap load of records.
Yeah,
and they just rubbed with the producer. It was a personality thing.
Wasn't a good fit.
Wasn't a good fit, and that happens sometimes. But that if we're talking entitlement, that person's way more entitled than you. Like they got a longer track record, and you're this is what you're coming to me with, and so. It went away from him again, The entitled thing, man. I think some of that is, the product of the everybody gets a blue ribbon, everybody gets a trophy for participating kind of a thing. But the other thing is, it's a protection racket, and that's what you got to look out for. Like it's a protection racket of you get to blame everybody else. And because it's certainly not you, because you're entitled, and it means you don't have to look at yourself in the mirror, and you don't have to improve, and you don't have to do any work or anything like that. And that's just, man, that's toxic to be around. I don't care who you are.
It is. Yep. So stay away. You want people that have an attitude of gratitude, right?
Yeah.
Humble and thankful, and they're going to work harder because they know it's not going to be given to them at the end of the day. They got to go out and they got to earn it, so they're going to hustle.
Yeah,
those are the people I want to work with.
That story I just told, the guy's like, you just wanted me to kiss your,
ring.
butt, but he said it in 3 letters, right, and I'm like, I never asked you to kiss.
More efficient.
I just said, what's wrong with taking a check and smiling and saying thank you and getting the job done? Right. That is not kissing anybody's butt, and not for nothing. Like he was super cocky about it. I said, and you know me, Brent.
Yeah.
If he would have done the job, crushed it, and came back with all that same rhetoric, I would have been like, yes, high five. I don't mind a cocky when you just laid down the law. You know what I mean? When you just crushed it, and you're like, I'm the best. Yes, you are. Thank you, because you just saved my butt and saved this project.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Absolutely. Like everything after the project, totally high fives. Before the project, you're an idiot.
Right.
So just side note there, but entitlement.
Yep. You ready for the next one?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, let's recap real quick. So we've had, what do we got here? Let me shuffle through my papers. We got one, doom artists disregard their fans or potential fans. They aren't going out there and trying to find their audience, find their tribe, right? That's going to love their vibe. They're not doing all that stuff. They're just working in a vacuum and think some magic going to happen. Doomed artists are waiting for a hero. So they're hoping one day when they get discovered while they're slinging the bean at Starbucks, somebody's going to come through and hear them humming and is going to
get a record deal
away on their white chocolate mocha horse and whatever. That ain't gonna happen.
Half calf, non-latte.
Hey, look, it's Biscotti McQuarrie, and he just got discovered at Starbucks. I used to have a bunch of names for country music. I used to barista, and I can't remember now. That's the one I remember. Biscotti McQuarrie for Starbucks. I have to think of some more. Anyway, number 3, doomed artists treat music like a hobby. If they treat it like a hobby, that's all it's going to be, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even if they win the lottery, like we talked about last time, they're going to be broken about 2 years and they'll be back out of the game. So never mind. Not going to do you a whole lot of good. Number 4, doomed artists have an entitlement mentality. They act entitled, and that's going to turn off people in the business. I'll tell you, and I'm going to leave names out. Not that it would matter. You won't know the dude's name because he's entitled. Anyway, so I got in the room with an artist. So a buddy of mine and I were writing, and he's like, hey, there's this guy that got recommended to me, and he's an artist and recommended by this. Okay, well, sure. Let's try it out, and got in the room, and the guy spent way more time just kind of belly aching a little bit about opportunities he didn't get or opportunities that somebody else got that he felt more deserving of than he spent working on the freaking song.
Yeah.
I never want to work with that person again. I'm like, you ain't that good.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, he's all right. Sounded pretty good. So that's like, he sounds pretty good. Let's try it, And so the guy I work with, he's my buddy that I trust. And, we're in the room. He's the one that brought this guy in. Great guitar player, good melody guy, a good singer, but not the right voice for what we were writing. Just not the right lane. But he's great on other stuff. So let's try to get this guy to sing this work tape of the song that basically my buddy and I wrote without him while he was in the room.
In spite of him.
Almost we wrote it through him.
Yeah.
But hey, a good singer, why don't we get the free vocal out of it? And so he came over, he laid down, guitars and stuff. And that dude, it's been a couple months and the dude still hadn't even worked on the work tape for us. And I was just on his Instagram and he just happened to pop up in my feed because, I followed him before we were going to work together. I don't see diddly on there much about music. I got more followers than he does.
Yeah.
Anyways, but he was acting entitled and it was such a turnoff. I was like, no, dude.
Yep.
I can let so much other stuff slide, but I don't want to be in the room with this negativity.
When you're a pro and you know how much work it takes and how hard you got to dedicate yourself to do it, the entitlement thing is just that. It's a turnoff.
It is. Which
you recognize like you're not aware, you're a rookie, it just makes you instantly subordinate.
Oh, don't want to be around it. Which leads us to red flag number 5. Doomed artists radiate bitterness or negativity.
Yeah.
So believing that you won't succeed is a self-fulfilling prophecy. I never thought I'd make it, but I've made it for 10 years now. No.
Said no one ever.
There's that humility thing, but if you really think you're not going to make it, you're not going to try as hard. If your artist friend really believes that he or she is being held down by gatekeepers, publishers, record labels, or whatever, and that is what is keeping them from success, run away.
Yep.
Okay? We've had whole episodes about that. What's really holding you back?
Yeah.
A Johnny episode. This negative, bitter attitude gives away the artist's power. And it gives away their ownership over the situation. They've allowed themselves to become a victim. And this attitude will repel most real music business pros. I mean, it repelled me when I was writing with Mr. Unnamed Artist, who probably won't ever be anything.
Mr. Unnamed Entitlement Artist.
Yeah. Because I'm like, okay, listen, we're here. I hadn't even met you before today. You're
killing me.
Why don't we work on this song? Why don't we do something to change that? Why don't we write the song today that's going to create some opportunity for you instead of using the time belly aching about some opportunity you missed? Because you know what? You're missing another opportunity. You're missing an opportunity to write a song right now.
Yeah, that's a good point. While you're talking about all these opportunities that you missed,
you're missing
in the
one.
Process of missing one.
And you're screwing with mine.
Yeah.
Get off my boat. Get off my boat.
Get off my plane.
Right. This is not a hobby. Jeez. Anyway, so I'm having a negative attitude, but I'm not. I'm a wonderful, happy person. All right. So what's even worse than this bad attitude, repelling people, it's worse is when it becomes contagious. And you do not want to catch a negative attitude from an artist or anyone else. Before you know it, you'll start seeing all the reasons you can't succeed and all the reasons somebody's holding you back and all this unfairness and whatever. And you'll stop seeing all the reasons that you can and will succeed. And that's a big deal. You got to stay away from that. I mean, you need people who will love you enough and help you enough by being honest with you when your work isn't up to par, when it isn't up to standard, right? You need that. Otherwise, you don't know. I was right. I had a recent coaching call with somebody, and without getting into much detail, basically, hey, I'm thinking about making the move to Nashville. Friends and people out here really dig my stuff. What do you think? And apparently, that was the first professional opinion this person had gotten.
Oh, so everybody likes my stuff as mom and dad?
Or friends or
my
whatever.
Yeah.
I hate to be the one to break it to you. The songs just weren't there. The craft just wasn't there. Yeah. But, man, so you need people that will be honest. And I was honest with this person, while being kind about just, you got a ways to go. Here's some spots. But I lost my train of thought. So you need those people that love you enough and support you enough to be honest with you, not just be yes people, right? And just say whatever makes you happy in the moment. So those you need. What you don't need are people that are just negative, spewing poison. Yep. That stuff will go viral and you'll catch it. And I don't see people that are on their way up or on the top that are belly achers.
Yeah.
And just seeing all gloom and doom. You might see that on their way back down.
Yep.
But the people that are out there crushing it are going out there because they believe it can be crushed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're just working. I got two things to add to that. One other, like number 6. Okay.
Yeah.
Is the artist who's unaware. Actually just had this conversation over lunch with a publisher who's very close to this artist that is, the publisher's relationship is so close with the artist that they're, she's kind of like a manager almost. You know what I mean? It's like it kind of blurs into that line, which is weird.
Yeah.
And they write songs together, but she's like that friend. And one of Randy, from Barfrog, who had some dealings with this artist. Artist comes in and sings like a killer singer, like really good. Like, and it's got a certain thing in the voice that is unique and interesting and not, it's identifiable. It's just, and not even almost from a tone thing as much as there's some inflections that she would do. But the artist is not, the band stinks. Her band stinks. Terrible. Like one song, I'm like, oh my Lanta, like it's like a high school band or something, and it's a country thing. And the guitar player is like doing finger taps on like a Explorer guitar in a country band, like Eddie Van Halen and Up. And you're like, wait, what? And the drummers, like, it's like, I got to take Dramamine to get through the show because the stuff goes all over the place. And that stuff really gives me like, it makes me car sick. It really does. And
car sick from a drummer.
Yeah. And when you get motion sickness, right? He's like, oh no. Like, Randy just got to this one point where I had to tell her, like, look, it's time for you to, do this. And the artist gets defensive. They're unaware of the situation. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like but it's as clear as day. This is not subtle. And then they had a producer that produced a song or two for this person, and the song that they're trying to go to radio with, the song that they're trying to, like, this is our work of art and everything like that. And then the mandolin on the track is like nowhere even near the pocket. Like it's a terrible recording. Yeah. And it's not done right. And so the publisher was trying to say, hey, like, we got to redo this. No, the person that produced this is awesome. Like, here's the resume. Here's why you're wrong, basically, is what they're saying. Yeah. And this is a young artist. Okay. Yeah. And the mom supporting the young artist. And it's like, wow. So somebody's like unaware and sort of in that bubble too. That's another one that's going to be toxic for you. It's all the talent in the world. Good songwriter. Great voice. Money. She's got money.
Yeah. You're like, check Check.
But literally, yeah, can't see the forest through the trees. Like, all these people telling you the same thing, and you're not stepping back and going, "Hey, maybe I need to reevaluate this." It's like
these
this
people
isn't
are pros too.
this isn't good. Yeah, like okay, like instead of that, like what, I believe this about the producer, but prove it. Like here's $100. Go get a friend to recut the mandolin and send me back a rough mix, and let me compare the two so that they can see it, they can hear it, right? But so that's that thing that I was thinking. I was just like the unaware artist. And then the final thing, just from like a business perspective, all these different sort of toxic things remind me of like one really, really important lesson that I learned just in business, which is like sometimes everybody has like that one customer, right? That is the biggest pain in the butt. They pay the least amount of money. They take up the most amount of your time. And you're trying to do the right thing, and you're trying to be a good person. You're trying to do good business, but sometimes there's a customer that's just better off with the competition.
Yeah, sometimes you have to fire your customer.
Let them go. Yeah. Let them go.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, so if they're just unaware, you can try to educate them, right? If they don't know about the importance of artists, turn them on to the C.L.I.M.B. Let us encourage them for hours, right? We've 140 something episodes. We have hours of encouragement. We can help them, right? Send them to us. But then what happens? These are 5 warning signs you should not be writing with the artist. Now, here's another thing. If you write amazing songs with that person, like the artist you're talking about, great songwriter, right?
Yeah.
It might be worth it to keep writing with them if you treat them like a non-artist co-writer.
Yes.
So in other words, don't wait around for that artist to take these songs to number 1. If they're great, pitch these songs to other artists who don't have these red flags, right? That do have the work ethic and the attitude and the mindset, all that stuff that we're looking for. Now, if your artist co-writer does not want you to pitch them anywhere, like, no, these are mine, don't go anywhere with them. What you do is you take these cool songs and you use them to attract new co-writers.
There you go.
You move on. Right?
Yeah. So one way or the other, you can make lemons out of lemon, or lemonade out of lemon.
You're getting good songs. If nothing else, get new co-writers to replace this person that's gonna be an anchor and hold you down. Yeah. So I know this may be hard to hear. I know it may force you to confront an uncomfortable truth that you've been ignoring. But I've personally wasted too many songs, too many days on artists like the ones on this list, and it's not. And I was talking to someone else about it too, recently, another pro, and we're talking about writing with the artist thing. It's not just I'm writing with a baby artist; they may blow up, and therefore I can hitch a ride on their bandwagon. It's like, no, are you focused on that, or are you focused on writing their deal getter? And do they have the list that you think this is a good investment? Is this a business I want to invest in? Because you are investing in that business. We're all limited on the time and all this stuff. But also, just because you're writing with them, they're writing with other people too. And they're writing with other pros. You better bring the thunder every day. It's not enough just to write with that person. Yeah. And then I wrote with some artists that aren't great writers, and I can only write so much of the song. I'm a lyricist. I can, even if I'm on fire that day,
you're not bringing the melody into the equation.
I can die and help mold and encourage the melody, but I'm not writing the melody, right? Yeah. So I have a lot of mediocre songs with mediocre artists who never went anywhere. And I have like a whole catalog. I feel like at one of my publishing deals that I'm no longer at, that a bunch of songs like that where I was chasing that thing. And I wasn't going, where do I get my best songs? I get my best songs with, these certain co-writers. Instead of really just focusing on my crew, where I get my best work, whether they're an artist or not, and then really being really picky about which artist I write with, because, do they check the boxes? Do they really look like a good investment? I waste a lot of time. And so I don't want you to waste your time that way too, climbers. I want you to get the most out of it and to invest in the right places, because we only have so much to invest. But anyway, I hope you guys avoid my mistakes. But listen, I have a little trick or treat here for you a month after Halloween. I have a gift for you. It's called Think Like a Pro Songwriter. It's an ebook I'm giving away. So you just go and you can download it, have instant access to it. It's at giftfrombrent.com. Again, it's an ebook, Think Like a Pro Songwriter, just to let you in on some of the mindsets, some of the lessons I've learned from my time in the music business. And it's at giftfrombrent.com. And hope you go check it out, which serves you well. That's what I got.
Right on. I love it, man. Well, listen, that brings us to the end of another C.L.I.M. episode. Join the C.L.I.M. community if you haven't done so on Facebook already. There's lots of really great information there on a daily basis, people helping people, lots of questions answered, lots of relationships to be made. Subscribe to the podcast and make sure all those episodes come right into your podcast player every single week. Take a 30 seconds, right? 30 seconds. Leave a 5-star rating and review. Let other people know on a public forum what you think about it. Tell your truth. And then finally share it. Put it on your social media. Tell a friend about it. Let other people know that this podcast is really helping you out if that's the way that you feel, and let them know. So, we're here. We do this all the time, twice a week. We created this podcast because we want you to win. So keep on climbing.
And we'll see you at the top.